Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my workshop today. We're about to start a project that I've been planning to start now for, I'd say, close to 2 months. I've been doing my research, picking up parts for it, and this is what we're going to be working on here today, which I'm very excited. This is the Savage Axis, the XP2 I believe, chambered in 308, and it's one of those package rifles that you get like from Cabela's or wherever. I got this one from Cabela's, but it's a very basic rifle. You get the basics, you get the plastic synthetic stock, you get a big game caliber. It comes with the Bushnell kind of cheapo scope with it, and I was so thrilled with it when I got it. I was so excited. It's kind of a funny story, but I was just really excited to be able to purchase this big game caliber. I finally had my own big game rifle. And then I got online and started reading the reviews and the comments and everything from the elitists, and I quickly became very unhappy with my rifle. Even though the problems I didn't really notice myself at the first, I became unhappy with them just because everyone else was saying that. Now, after putting quite a few rounds through it, I can definitely see that there are a few issues, and I just want to make the rifle overall more interesting. It's not a high-end rifle. It'll never be a high-end rifle, but maybe we can get it to shoot a little better, fit us a little better, and just be something we're a little more happy with. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'll point out right away that this is going to be a budget build, partly because I don't want to invest a lot into this sort of lower end rifle, and partly because I don't have a lot of money in my budget to spend on a rifle like this. So we're going to be keeping the price nice and low. I'm going to be showing you how to transform this rifle into something what I believe to be much better for not a lot of money at all, for basically as little as you can do it for. We're going to be addressing an issue with the stock. Now, I could have sunk, say, $400 into a Boyd stock, but I didn't want to do that because that's quite a substantial investment for this caliber of rifle. And if you're going in that kind of money, you may as well just purchase a higher end rifle. What I am going to do is modify this stock to fit me a little better. And what I'm going to do is use a cheek riser. Now, just so you know, the action's clear. There's no mag in there. But when you mount up to your rifle to look down your optic, you should be able to rest your cheekbone right on your rifle. You shouldn't have to prop your head up. You shouldn't have to pick a resting point somewhere along your jaw and hold your face there. You want to be steady and consistent every time you come to your rifle. So it's not variable, you're not all over. Now, if you sit like that on a rifle, which is where you should be, my eye line is just over the top of the action here. So where that becomes a problem is that the reticle of the scope, or the glass you have on there, is going to be up probably at least 3/4 of an inch higher than that, even with the lowest rings you can find. So what people end up doing, and most people probably don't even realize they do it, is they just kind of rest their face up here somewhere where they can get a decent picture. That's not ideal because, like I said, there's always going to be some inconsistency there. What I'm going to do is build what's called a cheek riser. I've already got a template for it, but it's going to sit over this. It's going to be an adjustable riser that we can set to the shooter that's actually going to build up the stock. Now, let me say that this is not my original idea. Of course, if you just go and Google military rifles or sniper rifles, you'll see tons of pictures with cheek risers on there. Some people just get pads and tape all around their rifle that at the right height. I want something a little nicer. I want something that's adjustable that I can get perfect. So what I have planned to use is KYDEX. We're going to do a couple bolts through, and we have some amazing adjustment knobs. I don't want to spoil the surprise, so we'll leave it for now. What we'll get to first is the KYDEX work. Now, this is 1/8 inch thick KYDEX. KYDEX is a heat moldable polymer. So you heat it up, you can bend it in whatever shape you want very nicely, like it really goes almost like a noodle consistency if you really warm it up, and then it cools quickly. And once it cools, it goes right back to this original state, rock hard. So you can mold it to whatever shape you want, i.e. our cheek rests here. This is the final template, which is the perfect crispy drawing we're going to use. Just to give you some idea, this is going to go right over our rifle like this, and this will be able to slide up and down. It's really cool. Whoever originally came up with the idea is pretty clever. I certainly like it, but we're going to try to make our own here now with this 1/8 inch thick KYDEX. Now, after going through multiple attempts at making this with a thinner, cheaper KYDEX, I learned a few things, and that is to mark all my drill points now, or any reference points I need. So we have 8 drill hole points and 2 reference points that are exactly center of the rest. So if I mark it right through the paper like this, I know it's going to be dead on. So we keep everything all centered up. So you can see our outline there now, and you can see our points. What we're going to do is cut this out. This is pretty easy to cut on like a bandsaw or something like that. And then we can drill our holes. Now, if I could throw out one free piece of advice for you newer craftsmen, or maybe you older craftsmen, if you haven't picked up on this already, make a template of everything that you do while you're working on it. Whether it's something like this, or knife designs, or leather work, or make a template. Why re-engineer something every time you want to do it? As you're making it, create a template. Now if I mess this piece up while I'm cutting it or something, I didn't lose my work. I can just trace it out again. I don't have to start from ground zero every time. So you saw me clean up those edges on the belt sander. I also chamfered them a little bit, just a little bit, rounded them down. This is 1/8 inch material, so it's quite thick. You don't want a hard edge on there. What I'm doing now is just carving off, because the plastic tends to melt a bit on the high-speed belt sander. So we'll give it a little sanding to get rid of all of those. You can see flakes of melting, and then I'll sand through a couple higher grits just to bring this, because this will take a real nice slick finish. So I'm starting with 120, 220, and then 400. So here's where we're at so far. You can see those nice clean rounded edges. Of course, this textured side is what's going to be out. It's a little more textured than I'd like, but it's not a big deal. I'm sure it'll look fine when it's on the gun and offer a little bit more traction there as well. Now it's time to punch those holes. Check it out, it is looking fantastic. And we're about to do what is a little bit of the most intimidating part, and that is to heat mold this. This is an 1¼ inch dowel. This is what I've found to be optimal. And this is where those, if you remember those center points I marked in earlier, it allows us to mark that up dead center with a dowel so we get a perfect bend. Getting there, we're getting there. Come on. Okay, I can see that I'm not heated out far enough out here. So it bent lovely right here. You see how it's gone hard just like that? But now, that's fine. It's nice and straight. So now I'll warm up down a little further, and I'll just kind of work it down around. Now we got out the D-walt here, 1/4 inch bit. I got a couple starting holes. Roughly square. Okay, why I don't mind this so much, this might be bothering some of you. This is just a plain hollow plastic stock. Like I said, it's a cheap stock. Even if everything went bottom up and I hated what I did here, I've still only got 2 little holes in my stock. So the damage is not that great. It won't affect performance, function, whatever. If you were that torn up about it, you could just plug it, polybond over it or something. Okay, it's a new day, a fresh perspective, and an issue fixed. As I was fitting in those bolts last night through the stock, I went to thread on my knobs for a test fit before I showed you guys on the camera, and I realized I had the wrong threaded bolts. So I had to wait till this morning to get to the store to go pick up some new bolts, and I'm about to show you one of the most exciting, cool pieces of this project. So of course we have our cheek piece here now, which looks real great in my opinion. We have our new carriage bolts that are going to be really slick with that rounded head. What we need are some adjustment knobs. We don't want to put just ugly old nuts on the end of there and a washer that you have to use a wrench or something to tighten down. So what I have are 2 custom knobs. You ready to look at these? Look at those. Custom machined by Mr. J.S. Saunders. I'm sure you'll see him comment below this video. He's a machinist by trade. That's what he does, and he is a master at it. And look at these 2 knobs. Stainless steel. I mean, I picked them up yesterday and I was just blown away. Just so beautiful. Look at those. Let's get you an even closer look here. We have that sort of a floral pattern design around here. It's a shrew knob. We have some knurling on there. Just look at how beautiful that is. Now to see how she looks, let's get those 1/4 inch carriage bolts through there. Ooh, those slides are nice now. This is exciting. Look at how good that looks. Now let's not leave it down flat. Let's make it do what it was meant to do. It was meant to come up here somewhere like this, wherever we want it. Of course, we'll refine it later. These can crank down nice and tight. And there we have. That is so nice. These aren't really cranked down yet, but there's one final thing I want to do to these, and that is I want to get rid of the silver. I don't want that shiny reflective finish, so we are going to etch them. Give you a look at the other side here though. See, we just have some dandy nice carriage bolts there, so it's a very clean look. Let's do a little etch. Hit that like button for this guy's work. You've got to go hit that like button there. And if you see him comment down below, like his comment and tell him he did a good job, because these look just so amazing. And this design is great. Let's say you pass your rifle along to a bigger guy. Suspended for just a short amount of time. I'll check it every probably 20 or 30 seconds just to see how it's doing. I just want it to be dark. I don't need it to be super black or super etched or anything real special. So I'm having trouble getting those knobs to darken. The 2 bolts went through just fine, and they're a nice matte black now, just like I would want them. The bolts, or the knobs, I know they're made of stainless steel, but stainless steel is still supposed to etch quite well in ferric chloride. They just seem to be etching enough just to matte the finish, which ultimately is enough so that it's not reflective. If you remember, that's what I said. I didn't want it to be reflective, but even still, I'd like to get them a nice dark color. Like these bolts here, that might not be possible. I'm not going to paint them, definitely not. And it's going to be done here today. So whatever we get here now in this attempt is what we have. And here they are. So they are definitely darkened a little bit, but not like the bolts are, which is, it's fine. The main thing is that they're not reflective. And there is our KYDEX cheek rest, all done, installed, works great, feels great. It's nice when the idea in theory turns out just as well in practice. Very durable, very tough. I don't see any issues with it. I do wish those knobs had turned out a little bit darker. It won't be near as much of a deal once we get a paint job on this rifle, so you'll want to come back to see that. But yeah, I wish they had been more of a black, but that's fine, just like they are. We have some more work to do on this rifle, which I'm very excited about. I really hope you come back. I hope you enjoyed this part of the series. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment below. Tell me what you think I should do with this rifle. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.